Hello, my name is Sara Oehler and I am the Sales and Marketing Manager for Econoflex company. Today I have the good fortune of being in the Beadaholique design studio and get to share with you some great information about Econoflex company products. So to get started, I wanted to talk about some of the different brands that Econoflex offers. I know that it can be a little confusing at times to try to figure out what's the right brand for you. So I'm just going to kind of run through all of the different options that you have available from Beadaholique. So first and foremost, we have our basic Econoflex. When it first came out in the 1990s, it was only in a satin silver color, which looks very similar to this soft touch. It runs in 3 different diameters, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But it was our very first option and what our company is named after. So Econoflex beading wire is our original brand. And then we came out with Soft Touch, which is very similar to Econoflex in the way it appears, but it's actually much more flexible. You'll even see that the package reads 50% softer and more flexible. So when you're doing things like pearls and seed beads and you need just that extra added flexibility, Soft Touch is going to be the brand for you. And we have a very loyal following for Soft Touch. When people love Soft Touch, they often will not use anything else. We also have what we call our metallics line. Metallics are very similar to basic Econoflex, but they come in a copper color, and then we also have a beautiful antique brass color, and they kind of go hand in hand with all the Econoflex colors, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the video as well. So the color is actually in the nylon coating. All of the products that I've talked about so far have a stainless steel core, either 7, 21 or 49 strands of stainless steel, just itty bitty strands of steel braided together with a nylon coating, and the color is actually right in that nylon, so it's never going to change colors or lose that beautiful copper brass color that you're going to see in the original product. We love the copper and the brass so much that we gave it its own name, Metallics, but it's really the same thing as a basic color in our original Econoflex brand. And just to be clear, Econoflex comes in lots of different colors other than that original satin silver or steel tone. It comes in blacks and whites and all sorts of colors, and you can find quite a few of those right through Beadaholique. We also have a brand named Extreme, and it comes in 3 different colors. And here in front of me, I've got 2 of those, but basically this isn't a steel-based product, it's a copper alloy product. It's a 1x19 strand, and again, those are braided together, and then this particular one is plated in 24 karat gold with a clear nylon coating, and that gives you that bright gold, beautiful tone. The sterling silver is similar in construction, it just has a actual sterling silver plating. And then we have a 3rd color called our champagne, and that's just the copper alloy with a clear nylon coating over the top. And finally, the last brand that we offer that Beadaholique is carrying is Econoflex. Econoflex is for a crafter. So it's only a 1x7 strand stainless steel product. It comes in a bunch of different colors, including the steel gray color. But it is going to be great for things like beaded curtains, beaded lampshades, things that just need a lot of wire, but they don't need necessarily a lot of flexibility. So it's going to be our most inexpensive brand, but great for someone that's doing more of a craft project. So now that I've gone over all the brands, I think we'll go ahead and talk about the different diameters that are available. So I'm going to start with our very fine. It is our 7-strand variety in Soft Touch and Econoflex, and we created 0.010 inch in order to do things like embellishing, weaving, and crocheting. And anytime you want to figure out what any of our diameters are for, if you look just underneath where it says very fine, fine, medium, or heavy, you're going to see a small list for what that particular diameter is typically used for. So very fine is embellishing, weaving, crocheting. This is actually knitted on a knitting spool. Very Fine Soft Touch comes in black and white. So this is two colors knitted together in the Very Fine. And then this particular project here is a free project idea on the Softflex website, and it uses the black Soft Touch 010 to weave together some beads into this cute little bracelet. Another great use for 0.010 is really tiny gemstones. Sometimes, diamonds or sapphires or rubies will have such small holes, they won't fit on a thicker diameter. And so that's why we actually carry this in a white and a black, is for diamond dealers in Asia who use this particular diameter for diamonds because they have such little holes. The next diameter that I want to talk about is our fine diameter. And in this case, in a basic Softflex or a Soft Touch, it's a 21 strand variety. So it'll be 3 bundles of 7 braided together. And it comes in just some basic colors. It comes in white, it comes in black, brass, copper, some of the more metallic-y and basic colors. And this particular diameter is used for seed beads and freshwater pearls. I created this necklace just to show how soft and supple the Soft Touch is. It really is very soft, and it's a great opportunity whenever you're doing something like pearls or seed beads to add just that extra bit of luxury. You would want to use Soft Touch. You can also use it for doing tubular weaving. These are both a Russian spiral weave that I teach on a pretty regular basis. One is just using bugle beads, whereas one is using some smaller seed beads in place of the bugle beads. But the 014 wire is actually spiraling around, weaving this whole bracelet together. And what's nice about using a wire is it's going to really give you some body and shape. Whereas if you were to use thread, this is more likely to collapse and not quite have that big, beautiful shape that this has. And then this is another design where I knitted using a knitting spool. This is using 2 colors in our Softflex. It's using one of the metallic colors, antique brass, and then it's using our black in basic Softflex. And it is knitted on a knitting spool using what we call knitting style 3. And you can see it just lends itself really well to a project like that. Although you can use any of our diameters on a knitting spool, you're going to get different outputs depending on the diameter you choose. And the thinner diameters are going to be a little softer and spongier than the thicker diameters, which are going to have a little more structure to them. Okay, so next we move on to my very favorite diameter, which is medium. This is the one that I use the most often, and I'll probably have the most samples here to show you. Again, it comes in a huge array of colors, 25 different colors in basic Softflex, and then it's also got some further colors if you look into the Econoflex and the Extreme varieties as well. So here's another Extreme. And I like this particular diameter because it sort of does it all. It says it right on the label, all purpose, glass, mineral, and metal beads. It'll fit a really small hole, but it can handle things that are more abrasive as well. It also comes in the largest color assortment, so that's really fun if you like to use, all the fun different colors that are out there as part of your design. This is definitely going to be the diameter for you. This particular design is from my first book, Show Your Colors, that came out about 5 years ago. And it uses the Mystical Trio, which has our purple amethyst, I think it has spinel, and then it has our pink tourmaline colors. The trios are really fun because they give you an opportunity to play around with multiple colors. You get a package of 3 10-foot spools, 30 feet total, but a little bit in 3 different colors, so you can intermix them or use them separately. So they're a lot of fun. So that's one design if you're doing something where you want like a floating necklace. Here's kind of another version of that where the wire has been wrapped around the bead with just a few seed beads to hold the bead in place. I think that one's really cool too. It's a nice way to get that illusion style necklace, showcase the wire color, but you don't have to use like a lot of crimps or any sort of metal to keep the beads in place on the wire. I really love braiding soft flex, and I do that in all 4 of our diameters. But medium and heavy, I think, are the best for braiding because it just really creates sort of a thick chain that's really beautiful to work with. So in this case, I crimped using a mighty crimp at the bottom and then braided the soft flex up the back, just adding seed beads throughout the design. The thicker the wire, the more kink resistant it's going to be. And so a lot of the medium designs that you'll see are going to have sort of free floating wire, and I don't have to worry about that wire becoming kinked or breaking. One of the nice things about soft flex is, not only is it kink resistant, if it did happen to kink, it's not going to work, harden, and break where it kinks. It's very strong and very flexible. Here's an example of a design using the medium in the 24 karat gold. This was on the cover of Bead Style magazine and is still one of my very favorite designs, where you can actually just use the wire to make fringe and just do little crimps at the very bottom to hold beads in place. And I'll show you just 1 or 2 more in this diameter, and then we'll move on to our 024. So there's just so many fun things you can do when you start thinking about the colored beading wire as part of the design rather than just a supply that you string on, whether you're using it on a loom or you're freely knotting it because it can be knotted, or crimping it into really unusual, cool shapes. There's just a lot of different things you can explore with medium specifically because it does have so many cool colors. And then last, let's talk about heavy. Heavy is probably one of the most underappreciated diameters because it is thick. And people tend to think, if I get too thick of a wire, I'm going to lose my flexibility. And that's really not the case, especially if you're using soft touch heavy. Soft touch heavy is very flexible, but still has this amazing strength. It says on the label it's a 40-pound test strength, but I've seen reports where it goes up to 60 to 65 pounds. And by test strength, I mean it's tested as weight that is moving. So it would be like if you were fishing and there was a 40-pound fish running down river, it would possibly snap this wire. So in beading, this wire is just incredibly strong. But what's most important about it, it's 49 strands, just like the medium soft flex and soft touch. But what's most important is it has this really thick nylon coating. And that is great when you're doing designs that are going to have some really abrasive edges, like large gemstones, these pieces of metal, African trade beads, big lampwork beads, anything that's going to be really hard on the wire. You want to make sure that you're getting a really thick wire underneath your design. I always say the best rule of thumb for any design is to use the thickest wire that you can underneath your design. Sometimes it will only be medium because you want it in a certain color and we don't offer that in heavy, and that's fine. Medium's really strong too, but you definitely want to focus on getting the strongest beading wire you can under your design so that it's going to last a really long time. So I certainly hope that you were able to learn a few things about our different brands and diameters of Softflex today. I'm so glad that I got this opportunity to spend time at Beadaholique, and I hope that you'll check out all of our products on their website. Thank you.